Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Alex Sigrist, and today we're going to talk about a scandal kind of rocking the YouTube world here in Korea. I'm a little late to the game, but it's all about Korean Englishmen and Gabie Kook and what they did wrong in Quarantineville. What am I going to say that's going to bite me in the butt later? Let's find out. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about a scandal that sort of rocked the YouTube world, and I say sort of because there isn't like a huge outrage except online. And of course, within communities here in Korea, but not as much outrage as other scandals or cancel culture events have brought up recently. This is the one involving Gabie Kook and her husband, Young Namja. For those who don't know, let me just briefly explain what happened. They were in England, which is where they are most of the time, and they came back to Korea. And of course, when you come back to Korea after being in another country, you need to go into quarantine for 14 days. That means you either go to a hotel that they've assigned to you, or you go to your own place of residence and you have to stay there for 14 days. And that's exactly what they were doing, sort of. That's, I guess, where we come into to this conversation now. So they were in quarantine, and for her birthday, which happened within those 14 days, the husband, Young Namja, Korean Englishman, Josh, threw a little surprise party for the wife, Gabie. And the party involved people coming to their house, but not in their house, but to the house, dropping off gifts as they filmed the interaction between the doorway, open doorway. And many people were quick to point out that this was not the right thing to do. Number one, because you can't, it's illegal. And number two, because then you share it online and make it seem like, it's okay, you can do these things. It is not okay right now in Korea, when you're under quarantine for 14 days, to have people over to your house for whatever reason it may be. You are supposed to stay away from people for 14 days. You don't go to work. You don't leave the house. They track you on your phone. They try to anyway, of course. Some people have been caught leaving their phone in their house. But in general, you shouldn't do that. And I think the idea of having people to your house was probably a bad idea. But as I continue, I'll explain a little more about why it was a big deal. One, they were there. Two, she took off her mask on the video to put on lipstick. That was a gift, I believe, for her. Three, she took off her mask to blow out the candles on the cake. Even though the people who were cheering her on, wishing her happy birthday, were outside of the house, far away from the cake. Okay. We got a lot to talk about. Were the netizens right to try and bring them down? Were they right in their accusations of what they did? What was the YouTuber community response to it, which I think is actually the most interesting? And then, of course, what is my opinion on this one? Let's start with, I guess, the netizen response. What did the Koreans say when they were writing these comments under the video? A lot of the comments were taking them on as being, number one, a bad example. Because you are someone who is a public figure, an influencer. You literally influence people. And if you are out there breaking the law, then you may make it seem okay for other people to do the same when it comes to a quarantine regulation, let's say. And of course, as they pointed out, it's not okay for them to be doing that. Two, another complaint was that maybe it's because they are powerful or wealthy. They think they don't need to follow the rules, of course. And there's always that issue when it comes up in Korean society or in American society. Are the wealthy and powerful allowed to get away with whatever they want? Is that okay? Of course not. And I think a lot of the people there wanted them canceled. Now, okay, one big thing here. I don't understand cancel culture. I feel like it's actually suspension culture because everyone gets canceled and then they come back a few weeks later, a few months later. So canceling has always been a weird name for me. So, okay. What they did was very wrong. And I will agree with the accusations pointed out by the netizens and, of course, the news agencies as well. They broke some laws, and in my opinion, you should probably pay the fine or whatever punishment you have coming to you. It was a mistake, but you broke the law. If you run a red light, even if it's a mistake, you usually have to pay a fine for the ticket you get by running through a red light. So that's my opinion on them breaking the law. My opinion on them putting up the content is basically why? Why on earth did they do that? That does not seem like the most intelligent thing I've ever seen. because obviously, I mean, like, it's hard for me to like bring this up now because it's like, at what point at every point did they not realize this was going to be a bad idea? Number one, having the party. Number two, recording the party. Number three, after you're editing it, posting it online. Like, at no point did they sit down and think this is a bad idea to upload. For two reasons. One, because you're going to get caught and people aren't going to be happy. And two, you are setting a bad example for other people. I don't understand that at all. But I mean, my assumption is it was a mistake and they overlooked it. The issue I have with that, which again, let me get to my main arguments about this whole thing later, but the issue I have with that is sometimes when you do YouTube or you become popular or you become a celebrity, you start to forget that the rules apply to you. Not because you think you're better than the rules, but like, you focus on, I need to make a video. I want to make a good video. This would be a great video for our channel. And you sort of forget to consider the rules that you're supposed to abide by. And it's not a YouTuber thing, too, because trust me, I've worked with TV producers here in Korea who, rules are kind of just obstacles in the way of getting the best shot. So this is not a YouTuber exclusive thing. This is definitely not a Jungkook Namja, Gabie Kook exclusive thing. We sometimes forget that, we should really follow the rules while we try to get the best shot. I think it was a terrible decision in that regard, but yeah. So anyway, we talked a little bit about what they did wrong. We talked a little bit about the netizens' response. Now, we should mention that, of course, there are plenty of responses from the creators themselves. Gabie Kook actually apologized twice because her first one seemed to be a little bit more of an explanation of why she did the wrong thing as opposed to an actual apology. So then the next day she apologized for real, I guess. But also on her channel, I see that Josh has posted an apology himself. Hello, I'll read this quickly. Hello, this is Josh here. Firstly, I want to apologize for causing disappointment, concern, and discomfort to so many of you with the video uploaded on Gabby's channel last Saturday. I'm sorry this apology comes so late. I'm truly sorry to the countless people who have made such sacrifices to keep us safe, and I am sorry to all of you who are sacrificing daily to fight this pandemic. I'm still reflecting on the gravity of my actions with my deepest regrets. While in self-quarantine and after arriving in Korea, I invited a few of Gabby's friends to drop off gifts at the door, and we were careless about quarantine rules while greeting those friends. This was wrong and irresponsible. Realizing the fact that I have compromised the incredible efforts that Korea as a country has been putting in for months on end makes my heart ache that much more. I am truly ashamed and truly sorry for failing to uphold and support these efforts. After making the difficult decision to come to Korea, my irresponsible actions have caused damage and distress to the Korean Englishman team and to all of you who have shown me love, so much more than I deserve. I have disappointed all of you who have shown me support and care all these years, and I can't express how deeply sorry I am. Going forward, I will be taking some time so that I can fully reflect on your comments and thoughts. I will also step back from content creation and spend this time to truly self-reflect until I stand before you as a better version of myself. I'm truly sorry for letting you all down and disappointing you with my careless actions. Josh. That's the fastest I've ever read anything. All right. Two things about that. One, I don't believe comment or apologies that are posted online, even if you say it as a comment or as a video, which he's also done. But that doesn't mean I don't believe him. And maybe this is the right transition to get into the YouTuber response to this controversy, at least on the foreigner side, because I haven't been paying attention to the Korean side. The YouTuber response in Korea has been relatively quiet. Not many people have mentioned it, to be honest. And a few have, there's no doubt about it. But, when these other controversies came up, more people were talking about it. Whether it be Sam and his controversy, whether it be Oliver Sam, who did that video that was kind of racist, teaching Koreans how to use English and stay away from the hood, basically. And then, other scandals too. There was the bullying scandal that I mentioned recently between a YouTuber who had made fake accounts to bully someone to the point where they quit their YouTube channel. And there was even one way back in the day of Dave, I think, did one, he supported MC Mong, who was a rapper who pulled out his teeth to get out of getting into the army, and he's like, well, what's the big deal? And the Koreans are like, haha, you can't say that, and he got in trouble for that. But I mean, like every cancel culture, they all come back. What are the differences between that one and Sam's and this one? A couple things I noted in my notes anyway. Noted in my notes, of course, I note them in my notes. Number one, what they did here was a genuine mistake. A lot of people don't think that Sam's actions were a mistake when he pointed out, harshly true, but he pointed out that they should not have used blackface in creating this yearbook photo. The only thing he did wrong, in our opinion, is that he shared the faces of the Korean high school kids, which, yeah, you probably shouldn't do. Besides that, though, I don't recall many people defending the other cases I mentioned. And here's why I think it's such an interesting idea. We're all staying very quiet about Gabie Kook and Jungkook Namja. And I think part of the reason is they've cultivated a very good image of themselves. And I think they are genuinely good people. I've met him literally only once at a restaurant when I saw our mutual friend. And I said, hey, and he was there. And he's like, hey. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And he seemed like a really good guy. And all of the interactions that my friends have had with him have been very positive. I assume the same of his wife, although was a little tipsy when I met them all. I'm pretty sure I met his wife, but oops. They all seem nice, and everyone on their team seems nice, and everyone who interacts with them seems nice. And so what was interesting is that nobody made videos, not nobody, but a lot of people avoided making videos about this topic because I think we respect them. And I think we all know what they did was wrong, but we like them. And so we didn't want to point it out. That's a testament to their character, maybe, to the image they've cultivated, to the friendliness they've shown to people at events. They seem like genuinely good people. So, yeah. And that's kind of where I stand on it. I think they made a mistake. I think they should, quote-unquote, pay for their mistake. I think what they're doing is fine, taking some time off, and they'll come back. They'll be okay, because famous people can do that when they get canceled or suspended. And, I wish them luck. I don't want to see them gone forever. That's it. Good luck for them. When they come back, I'll support them again. I mean, I didn't really watch their videos because I don't need to see, foreigners trying kimchi for the first time. I've sort of done that before. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to say about that. That's my honest opinion about it. Good luck when they come back. There are a couple other things to briefly mention that I'm not going to get into detail right now. Some Koreans are mad because they found out other stuff, like one, they pay taxes in Korea? No, they pay taxes in England. Why are they coming back to Korea? Oh, because Gabie needed something from the healthcare system here because it's cheaper in Korea, but they're paying taxes in the UK. Yeah, so they kind of weren't happy about that one. I kind of dismissed that one because, like, when I go back to America, I don't pay taxes in America, I pay taxes in Korea. But I expect to use their roads because it's a public good. In Korea, healthcare is a public good, so, if they come back here and use the healthcare system, I really don't care. I don't know why that's been made such a big deal. I mean, I get why, because money talks, but like I said, this is another thing that should be noted, should be considered. I mean, they live in England, they pay taxes in England, it seems like. So some Koreans are kind of feeling like, wait, you just come here to take videos of trying kimchi with the celebrities and then you go home and you don't really care about Korea as much? That's been brought up. Again, I don't care. You want to do that, make videos in Korean and go to another country? Fine. You want to do that in America? I guarantee there's plenty of Koreans that do that in America too. I mean, maybe not quite to the celebrity status of them. Good luck to them. I hope they're okay. And I hope that everyone gives them an honest chance at making a full apology and maybe reconciling for their, quote, their sins. It was a sin. It was a mistake. Make this a warning to anyone out there. Good people can do bad things. And make sure you're always aware, as a YouTuber, of what you're posting, of what kind of, laws you may be breaking, but also what kind of image you're showing to people, and are you a good role model or not? Consider all those things. That's all I have for you today on this particular topic. Thanks for joining me on this little adventure to explore that. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Keep it civil, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Haseo.